you ever had to choose between two people you loved more than anything? I did. I was standing in the small bathroom of my apartment in 2015 holding a pregnancy test in my shaking hands. Two bright lines stared back at me, and in that second I knew my life had split in two. 2 months earlier, something terrible had happened. A man in the park near the bus station pinned me down and forced himself on me while I struggled and begged him to stop. I never told the police. I didn't think I could live through the endless questions, the pitying looks, and the pain of telling the story again and again. When I told my boyfriend David what had happened, he rushed home from his work trip early just to hold me. He became my safety through those awful weeks. But now, here I was, carrying my attacker's child. My mother, Maria, was a woman of unshakable Catholic faith. She believed in prayer the way most people believe in air. She carried her rosary everywhere. When my father died in a car crash caused by his drinking, she held our family together. She was the one who sat with me through nights of depression and clapped the loudest when I entered university. But she also taught me one thing I could never forget. Abortion was murder. When my cousin got pregnant as a teen, I heard my mother say, "Anyone who chooses abortion kills their soul." Back then, I had nodded and believed her because I believed everything she said. When I told David about the baby, I saw the truth hit him like a knife. He knew it wasn't his. We sat at the kitchen table, both broken, and decided I couldn't keep it. I needed to protect my mind, my body, my future. It had to be abortion. With trembling hands, I called my mother, hoping she would finally understand. Instead, her voice was like ice. "If you kill that child, you're no longer my daughter." No matter how I begged her to hear me, she cut me off. "Dennis, the baby is innocent. David is feeding you lies. You'll regret this forever." I dropped the phone onto the couch, shaking from head to toe. When I told David, he spoke with more firmness than I'd ever heard. "I love you, but I cannot raise that man's child. If you keep it, I will have to leave." His words carved into me. He wasn't cruel, just honest. And I respected him even while my heart shattered. For 3 days, I couldn't eat. Every hour, my mother called and left messages about heaven, hell, and my father's shame. David held me through storm after storm, but he never took back his ultimatum. On the third night, with trembling fingers, I finally texted her, "Mom, I'm getting the abortion." Seconds later, I saw the message delivered but never read. Soon after, I realized she had blocked me. When I tried her house phone, my brother answered and said, "She doesn't want to talk to you." 23 years of being her daughter ended with one text. The weeks after were a nightmare. My mother even called the police, saying David was abusing me. 2 officers came, only to find me safe, while she waited on the other end of the line like it was proof of my corruption. She tried calling from unknown numbers with messages about fire and damnation. On the morning of the procedure, she left one final voicemail saying, "You'll never see your father again. He's in heaven and you're going to hell." But I went through with it. The procedure itself was quiet, short, and brought more relief than I ever expected. When I got home, I cried for hours, not from regret, but because I could finally breathe. For the first time since that night in the park, I felt like myself again. A week later, when my body reset and my cycle returned, David cried harder than I did. We ordered noodles from the place down the street and watched silly movies on the couch. The pain wasn't gone. The scars were still fresh, and my mother was gone from my life. But in that little apartment, we had a fragile peace. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't easy, but it was ours.